Good afternoon to those who listen. It's November 6th, 2024, 4:10 p.m. And this is Hurting Humanity channel. And he's got good points here that, and I've been saying it too, that even though the former president is now the president-elect, things could still happen before he's actually inaugurated. And if something does happen before he's inaugurated, what happens? So that's the question. What happens? It would be a precedent because it's never happened before. Now, we've had presidents die or become incapacitated while they were already, in power, but not before. So he's pointing out in here, which let's move a little forward, what happened?
Chaos. Just because Donald Trump...
Well, I wouldn't pause there. So whoever's elected won't be sworn in right away. We already know that. It won't be until the 20th of January. So let's look at this.
General election.
So there's no federally required process to follow if there's a candidate who is projected to receive electoral votes. So we got to remember the Electoral College still has to vote him in. And that's December 17th. So if they die or become incapacitated between the general election and the meeting of electors, what happens? So nothing's ever happened. I guess in 1872, Horace Greeley passed away between Election Day and the meeting of electors. The electors were slated to vote for Greeley. They voted for various candidates, including Greeley. The votes cast for Greeley were not counted due to a House resolution passed regarding the matter. So we don't know what would happen. And it says the Constitution is silent on whether this candidate meets the definition of president-elect or vice president-elect. Most people assume that if, say, the president-elect dies, then it would automatically go to the vice president. And then that is not the case. So I don't know what would happen. And there's nothing in the Constitution that, how do they decide what happens? So there could still be something where the current administration would remain in.
Abraham Lincoln. Don't forget the nut.
So he's just pointing that out. There's a lot of stuff that could still happen. What happens if we go into a big conflict? The conflict that starts with the W, and they invoke the war, the WAR amendment or whatever, and then the current president would still be in power. Or if some big disaster happened, like a nationwide blackout, or whatever, something that would be an emergency, and they could invoke the Emergency Act or whatever. I don't know what it is, but just saying, a lot of people think, oh, it's over with, he's in, the former president's in, and he's going to become the president. But we don't actually know that for sure. And I still think they, from the concession speech from Harris, it sounded like, from what she said, that she's not going to dispute it. She's accepting the loss, and she's going to help the president-elect with the transfer of power. Everything sounds like it's good, but before she was saying that she wouldn't certify the president if she lost. So we'll have to wait and see about that. You never know. What else was I going to say? So there could be, things that happen that we don't know about.
Disputes. Don't forget of all.
And, you never know what could possibly happen. So don't just think everybody's, saying God won and everything. But we don't know exactly what's going to happen. We just know so far that he actually won the election. And, we didn't hear too much about fraud, election fraud. And I was expecting to hear a lot more. There's a few things that happened. But overall, it seemed like everything went pretty smoothly. Even though they tried to drag it on longer, they would never give up those states, to the former president, until it was like, totally over. Even though it was like almost mathematically impossible, they still kept on. So, I don't know. There's just so many more things that could happen. And there's still, 77 days? And of course, we're going to get hold on. And then we had this, which was weird. Why is the United States testing a hypersonic on election day right once the polls close? I don't know if people heard about that either. That was kind of strange. We also had yesterday, or was it today? No, it's today. Today, Netanyahu fired Gallant, the defense minister, claiming that he doesn't have trust in him or in the cabinet of the defense. So that's really strange too. The Is country did that. And there was lots of people out protesting about it. So something weird's going on with the Is country's government at this particular point in time. So I'm just saying, everybody's thinking it's over, and there's still more to come. So I just wanted to point that out. Just wanted to point out that it looks good. It looks good that it looks like the former president won, but there's still things that could happen. So just be alert and be aware of that. Don't just think that everything's just going to go all smoothly all the way through. And it would be nice if it did, but we just got to pray that everything is just going according to God's will. That's the main thing. It seems like the better of two happened, and it seems like the making America great again could happen. But we don't know that either. What if the former president turns and goes the way of the New World Order? We don't know. He's, says he's going up against it, but do we know that for sure? No, we don't. So we just need to be alert and always be praying. Just wanted to point that out because I still have a weird feeling that it's not over, that something could still happen. And it could. I'm not saying it's going to, but I got a feeling that something else is going to happen. All right, thanks for watching. God bless.